Well, welcome back to Market Day Report. Tommy Grisafi. I was enjoying that music, trying to get in the groove. We got an action-packed show for you. I'm going to be here most of the afternoon. Then I'm going to host Cow Guy Close. Let's go over these grain quotes. Then we got a great guest on. Let's look at this corn board. Dees corn 406.5, down 3. Going to go through the quotes quick because my next guest gave me a whole bunch of talking points, and you don't want to miss this. No beans, back up on the day. 1051 1/4, up 1 3/4. Let's go to Chicago, Board of Trade wheat. Looking at Board of Trade wheat, another down day, 524 3/4, down 7 cents. Front month, which is now expiring, coming in the first notice day, September. Board of Trade wheat, 502 3/4, down 6 3/4. That puts the cash markets in wheat with a 4. Let's head out to Kansas City and look at the wheat markets here. SEP KC does have a 4 in front of it, 485.5, down 7.5. December, 512 1/4, down 5.5. Looking at spring wheat, heading up to our friends up in North Dakota. And December, spring wheat, 582.5, down 7 1/4. Wheat board's really having a bad day. Looking at cotton, cotton 65.17, December cotton 66.73. Let's not waste any time. Let's bring in Ken Zuckerberg, CHS Markets from the greater Metro New York region. How you doing, Ken? So good to meet you and so good to have you here.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. Good to be with you. Lots going on. The grain market is the grain market, but happy to visit with you.
Yeah, what do we have with the financial situation here in agriculture?
So, not a shock to anybody. The situation has been under pressure for most crop farmers here in the U.S. Federal Reserve came out with some recent commentary just about farm income and credit conditions deteriorating steadily throughout the Midwest and the Plain States. This occurred through the second quarter of 2025, continuing a trend that we saw in the first quarter. Now, what probably is most pronounced at this part of the cycle is that you're seeing reduced working capital, and that continues to drive demand for higher financing, right? So there's a funny situation here when you have pressure on income, the demand for loans increases, which is good if you are a bank, but one has to think about what is the credit worthiness of the borrower and is that at risk? So there's a few dynamics here and cross currents, but at the margin, the situation, credit conditions have deteriorated slightly.
Yeah, and sometimes when people have lots of capital, they don't need the money. They tell the bank, I'm good. Now they need the money, and yet their credit's going down. The banks can tell they're tight. Do you think the White House and the powers to be know about this current situation?
Well, I think that most people do. Tommy, as you know, we are in year 3 of a down crop cycle, and this is a very tough business where you get 2 or 3 good years, and you probably get 5 or 6 not so good years. We are in the middle of that not so good period. So in some ways, the pressure on income is not a shocker, right? I think what's also contributing to the fact that grain prices are generally on the lower side is we have a monster U.S. crop coming, corn and soybeans. And when you have a greater amount of supply relative to demand, prices are going to suffer because of that.
Yeah, and I want to end this on a positive note. Land prices, I do a monthly podcast with the Land Talker. Land prices are holding up. That is the bright spot.
That is true. Land prices, farmland is a scarce asset. You have a lot of, institutional investors as well as farmland owners that continue to build out their portfolio when opportunities present themselves,
Perfect.
and it does remain a bright spot.
Excellent. Ken Zuckerberg, CHS Market Advisors. Thank you for coming on the show. All right, we'll be back with more Market Day Report. We're going to pay for a couple ads so we can keep the lights on here. Stay right there. Hi, Tommy Grisafi with AgBull Trading. I believe free information is costing you too much. Are you ready to merchandise grain like a professional? Please call us at 1-855-737-FARM. AgBull Trading is a division of Nesvick Trading Group LLC. Welcome back. I am Tommy Grisafi, sitting in for Tony St. James, who's at the Farm Progress Show. Well, It is the end of summer, and it's not the 4th of July holiday, but we do have fireworks in the cattle market. Let's get right to it. Live cattle, let's look at this quote board here. August live cattle, 246.37, up 387. Oct cattle, 241.57, up 337. December live cattle, 243.02, up 310. Let's look at the feeder cattle board, as we have a incredible strength here in the feeder board. August, 365.80. That'll be going off the board shortly, but incredible strength there. Sep feeder cattle, 369.40, up 430. Looking at the Oct, 368, up 5. Incredible strength all the way down. November, December, pretty much every feeder cattle has a 360 in it, some approaching the 370 level. Everyone wants to know the big question: where's it end? How's it end? What makes it end? Constant drama in feeder cattle and live cattle. We had rumors of screwworm. We personally had the Secretary of Agriculture in RFD TV studios here last week, and she addressed many of those issues that she's working on. So a dynamic market there. Let's look at lean hogs. Oct hogs, looks like cattle are bringing all proteins up. Oct hogs 94.72, up 130. December hogs 87.05, up 112. Feb 88.92, up 80. April with a 91 handle. May with a 93. Strength there. If I could pull up chicken prices, I would. I'm sure it's all going up. And you see, we talk grains, we talk livestock, but yet the livestock is the winner. So with that, I'm going to hand it back to Tammy here.
Yeah, good morning. Glad to have you here with us.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about what's going on. I mean, we keep saying every day, new highs, new records. When does this come to an end?
You think if I knew I'd be spinning records here on this?
Right.
I mean, that's a multi-million, billion-dollar question, and this is the most dynamic cattle market we've ever had in history, and that I know. And today, if you want to sell those prices or sell the board, you can. But tomorrow, if they go up one more time, you're going to have to make margin calls on that. So, biggest market ever. We quote those grain prices with lower grain prices, and then we come back to cattle with record highs. Incredible price action.
Yeah, no, definitely something to keep an eye on every single day. Not boring.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy.